let's move to Al-Ihsan. Yeah, Abdul Aziz.
The third level, Ihsaan. Ihsaan has a single pillar, which is that you worship Allah as if you were seeing Him, and even though you don't see Him, and He certainly sees you. The proof is the saying of Allah the Most High. Allah is with those who fear Him and keep away from what He has forbidden, and those who are people of Ihsaan, those who do well in carrying out whatever He has obligated, taking care of His right, and being constant in obedience to Him. He aids, guides, and assists them. And He said, and place your radiant light of Muhammad in the Almighty, the bestower of mercy. He who sees you when you stand up to pray, and sees you movement along with those who follow you in the prayer. He was standing, bowing, prostration, and sitting. Your Lord is the one who hears whatever you recite, and mention in your prayer, and who knows whatever you and those following you do in your prayer. So recite the Quran in it and correctly perform it, since your Lord sees and hears you. Surah Shura. And He said, you are not involved in any matter, O Muhammad, nor do you recite the book of Allah, nor do you do any action. O people, whether it is good or evil, except that you are right to see your deeds when you do them.
Very good. Okay, here now he talks about the third level of the deen, which is Al-Ihsan. And he defined Al-Ihsan, he said, أركانه وله ركن واحد. And he mentions the hadith, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. And to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you see Him. And if you do not see Him, then attend that He is watching you, the exalted He is. So, Ihsan here actually has two pillars or two levels. But the Sheikh, when he said here, it has only one pillar, what he meant is, it is one thing. It is one thing. Because a construction cannot have one pillar. When it comes to saying pillars, there should be more than one pillar. But what the Sheikh meant here in his statement is, it is one thing. That Ihsan is one thing in this regard. And it has two levels. The first level is to worship Allah subhanahu to attend or to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you can see Allah azza wa jalla. Of course, when we say this issue, you do not make a form for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? But attend in your heart that you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without making a form or a shape for Him, the exalted He is. If you fail to do so, reach that level, then the next level is attend in whatever you do in your life, that Allah is the all watching over you, the exalted He is. Imagine if you are working for someone and he asks you to do a job, and compare yourself between him watching you while you do this job or him not being there and you are doing the same job. Many people, if the boss is there watching, they are perfect, mashallah. They do their best to do everything correct and right. Once he gives you his back, you go to a browser and start reading news. This is, unfortunately, takes place in reality. But is this the case with us, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When we are alone, no one is watching us, we behave as if Allah is not watching us. But when there are people around us, we are, mashallah, walking angels. So be careful. Do not we should not make our ibadah, our behavior, our manners based upon if people are there or not. Because under all circumstances, we are not paying attention to people. We are not worshipping people. We are attentive that Allah is watching us all the time. This is the stand of the believer. Allah is watching all the time. Therefore, we perfect our acts, manners, ibadah to an optimum, to meet what Allah wants from us. Because we want to please the Creator, the exalted He is. So this is why reaching those levels will guarantee you that you are at perfection in everything that you do. In your ibadah, in your belief, in your manner, in your transactions with people, you are always correct, you are always right. Why? Because you always attend. Allah is the all-watching, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the all-hearing, the exalted He is. And the Sheikh used the proofs from the Quran for this ihsan. He says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ. Allah is with those who show dutifulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and those who are perfect in whatever they do. And he says, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى الْعَزِيزِ الرَّحِيمِ الَّذِي يَرَاكَ حِينَ تَقُومُ وَتَقَلُّبَكَ فِي السَّاجِدِينَ إِنَّهُ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah, so have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, to do tawakkul upon Allah, to rely heavily upon Him while following reasons. And الَّذِي يَرَاكَ حِينَ, the one who is watching you when you get up. So you attend in your heart that Allah is the all-watching, the exalted He is. The last ayah that he used as a proof, وَمَا تَكُونُ فِي شَأْنٍ وَمَا تَتْلُ مِنْهُ مِنْ قُرْآنٍ وَلَا تَعْمَلُونَ مِنْ عَمَلٍ إِلَّا كُنَّا عَلَيْكُمْ شُهُودًا إِذْ تُفِيضُونَ فِيهِ. The shahid is إِلَّا كُنَّا عَلَيْكُمْ شُهُودًا. Whatever you do, anything you do, anything you read, Allah is the all-witness upon us. Whenever someone attends this fact that Allah is the all-witness, certainly his life will be straight by the help and guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And finally, at the end of this principle, the Shaykh will mention the proof which collects the three levels of the deen: Al-Islam, Al-Iman, Al-Ihsaan. And he uses the hadith of Jibreel, like in Sahih Muslim, which was narrated by Umar radiallahu anhu. When Jibreel came to the Prophet in a form of man, he was wearing clean, tidy, white clothes and really dark hair. Meaning that he does not look like a person who is traveling. Right? And he said, Umar, وَلَا يَعْرِفُ مِنَّا أَحَدٍ. Nobody knows him. Meaning that, from where did this person come from? MashaAllah, shiny, clean, tidy clothes, dark hair, no dust. Meaning that, if this is the case of somebody who is so clean, he should be somebody who is living in the neighborhood, right, around. But we do not know him. And he came to the Prophet, and he sat in front of him. ووضع ركبتيه إلى ركبتيه ووضع يديه على فخذيه وقال يا محمد أخبرني عن الإسلام. He said, oh Muhammad, tell me about Islam. And the Prophet mentions to him the 5 pillars of Islam. He said, صدق. Jibreel said to Muhammad, صدق, yes, you are correct. The companions said, we were surprised. How come he's asking and now he's correcting the answer of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And then he said, تخبرني عن الإيمان. Tell me about Al-Iman. And he tells him about the 6 pillars of Al-Iman. He said, صدق. And then he said, tell me about Al-Ihsan. He said, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. To worship Allah as if you can see Him. If you fail to do so, then attend that He is seeing you. Then he told him, tell me about the signs of the hour. أخبرني عن الساعة. He said, ما المسؤول عنها بأعلم من السائل. The one who is asked does not know more than the one who is asking. And he gave him some of the signs of the hour. This hadith, very famous hadith, very important hadith that we should memorize by heart. Every Muslim, a grown-up or a child, should do his best to memorize this hadith. It comprises the matters of the deen, the 3 levels of the deen, and some of the signs of the hour. So that's why we should do our best to memorize it, teach it to our children, help them memorize it by heart, and let them understand the matters mentioned in this hadith. Not just to memorize it and to mimic us in reciting it or reading it, but to understand the meanings of those pillars and matters mentioned in this hadith. Once you do that, you have compiled the entire deen. Pillars of Iman, Islam, pillars of Iman, and Ihsaan. So may Allah help us, guide us, and protect us, and open the door of ilm and provision for all of us, and bless us in all matters. He is the all merciful, the all able, the exalted He is. So we